The judges for the contest, 48-46, 48-46, and 47-47 for the winner by majority decision, and still, ladies and gentlemen, the Undisputed African Fighting Podcast champion of the world. Welcome back to Fighting with Friends. This is your UFC 320 preview show. With me today, breaking down the card, ladies and gentlemen, the reigning defending Undisputed Vegan champion of the world, our chief analyst, brother guy.
Let's go. What's up?
How was that?
Good intro, bro. What track is that?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Anyway, let's get into business here, BG. This is UFC 320. Great cardio from the UFC. And as always, we will start
at the top of the mother effing card, bro. Let's go.
At the top of the card, we have Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira 2. Big Ank is 33 years old, the light heavyweight champion of the world, number 7 ranked pound for pound, 21-1, hasn't lost in 8 years, 11 wins by KO, 6 first round finishes on a 3-fight streak. Beat Alex Pereira in his last fight by unanimous decision, as you know. Alex Pereira is 38 years old, number 1 ranked light heavyweight, number 10 pound for pound, 12-3-0, 10 wins by KO, 4 first round finishes, and was on a 5-fight streak before losing to Magomed Ankalaev, in his last fight. So this is the rematch here, BG. I will tell you that the bookmakers are very much tipping Magomed Ankalaev to get the job done here. Give us, I think he's quite a strong favorite. I'll get some numbers while you break it down for us. So, BG, please go ahead with that for us, bro.
Oh, that's massive. Like, I did kind of think that he's the favorite, but I don't think like an overwhelming favorite, right? Just because, but it is so dangerous. You can put your lights out. Like in any moment in the fight, you can literally put your lights out. You know what I mean? There's a lot of talk about Pereira being a lot healthier for this fight than the last one. The last one. There's a lot of conversation around that he was a shadow version of himself. He was a little bit sick. He was going through antibiotics and all these things was coming on, right? All these different things. Whether that's true or not, I think we can agree that Pereira didn't really look like the most ruthless version of himself. However, that does not take away from the performance of Magomed Ankalaev, because what he did in that first fight was so amazing that it showed me that he's not afraid to go in there and actually take Pereira on in any facet of the fight, whether that's going to be in clinching, whether it's going to be taking him down, or whether they're going to be striking. Big Ank is a very well-rounded fighter, and I think that poses a lot of threats to Pereira's game, and I think that's probably why Ankalaev is the overwhelming favorite. But you just can't ignore that dynamite. You just can't ignore that Pereira is so skillful at striking that as long as he stays on the feet, there's always that chance that if he catches anybody, they're going to collapse. You know what I mean? There's always that chance. So I think it's a lot closer than what we're going to think. If both guys make it healthy, into the fight day, and they have a very good weight cut, and they, no one's injured or anything like that, and they're just healthy, I think it's going to be a lot closer than what we think. Now, if I must give him a pick, I am going to go with Big Ank. I went with Big Ank in the first fight. I'm going to go with Big Ank again in the second fight. That's not because I'm a Big Ankalaev fan. Never really been a fan, but I can give credit is due in terms of fight style, in terms of performances, in terms of game planning, in terms of overall athlete. But Ankalaev has got those weapons and those tools that can really nullify Pereira more times than what people think. Like if I must fight 10 times, I'll give the winning percentage to Big Ank 60-40 all the time, every time. I give him the win percentage because he's got more weapons. Like Pereira, he's not going to take you down, shoot double leg, get you to the ground, look to side control, look to move around, and then get to submission games. No, he's going to look to defend takedowns and keep it standing, and that's where he wants to do his best work. But what Ankalaev showed us in that first fight is that he can actually maintain Pereira, control him. He can get to a clinch and control him there, beat him up in the cage the whole time. We may just see that happen in this fight again. We may see round 2 and 3, maybe even round 4, where Ankalaev is going to do that. where he's going to be clinching a lot of the time and basically we're winding down the clock, winning dominant positions. Then basically round 5, he's going to go back to, maybe looking to put the fight away. But I think another big thing that adds to Ankalaev's numbers as to why he's probably the favorite is because he all week and in the previous fight he's been speaking about not showing any sort of, not necessarily fear, but it's more like there's no more Shama time. He basically was cold as ice, and he basically just cancelled out Chama. You know what I mean? That's the sign. Like, you think about all the other fighters in the past, like when they would take him on and lost to him, they were almost caught up in the occasion of fighting against Alex Pereira, Powhatan, greatest glory kickboxer fight of all time, whatever the case, however you want to phrase it. They all got caught up in his game. I want to knock Pereira out. I want to beat him at that. I want to. The big uncle's like, no, I'm gonna end this, man. Like, you guys are not gonna support this guy after this. Like, I am the guy. Like, I'm the guy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna back him up, though. I'm gonna back him up to do it again. He's gonna go 2-0 against Pereira, and yeah, that might just put Pereira in a position of like, what's next? Is he gonna go up to heavyweight? We don't know, but I think Big Unk is especially because he's 33 years old. I think he's gonna solidify himself as a good title runner in light heavyweight division. Might be one of the greatest to do it in that division, bro. That's how I see it. Obviously, next to John Jones.
Fair. Spoke about some numbers earlier. These are the current numbers for this fight. Ankalaev is a 1.38 favorite. Pereira is just over 3 times your money. So if you are down with Chama, this is probably the fight card for you to bet on him.
Very good.
You spoke quite a bit about the fight, BG, but I mean, do you see any path for Alex Pereira to get it done here?
Yes, I do. I certainly do. I see. Because one thing that you're gonna get from Big Unk is that he's going to get into the face of Pereira. Like, he did it in the first fight, he will definitely do it in the second fight. And I think as long as Big Unk's gonna do that, and he does that because he's got confidence that he can take Pereira on in kickboxing, right? So as long as he does that, it's always gonna give Pereira a chance. And I think as long as they keep it standing, there's always that outside chance, or there's always that big chance that Pereira can catch him with, a high kick or a calf kick or a check left hook, or put the combinations on him. And Big Unk's gonna have to fight that he fought in the first fight. He's gonna have to be well-rounded here, because I think if he gets into that game of I'm competent enough to strike with this dude, because you saw what he did in the first fight. He was boxing Pereira, bro. But he mustn't get too comfortable there, because the more he stays comfortable there, Pereira is so crafty, he's so sneaky in striking that he can just blast out the water. But it takes one shot, one high kick, you know what I mean? One big knee or one massive calf kick, and then you look into yourself like, oh fuck, I have to take this dude down because I can't stand here any longer. He's gonna put me away. You know what I mean? And that's Pereira's danger. So I think that the chances of Pereira TKOing Magomed Ankalaev is as high as Magomed Ankalaev beating him on decision.
So basically a toss up here, but if Pereira doesn't land the KO, there's no way for him to win on decision.
No.
All right, well, let us know in the comments if you agree with Brother Guy, ladies and gentlemen.
You know why?
Yeah.
Sorry, Eddie. The reason why I'm saying it is because Big Unk can still, if the striking gets uncomfortable, he can shoot the takedown and he can wrestle for 3 minutes. And then he lost in that round, he's finished. And he can do that over 2-3 rounds. And because he can do that, it will basically stop Pereira every time. Because Pereira, he's not going to go in there, he's going to put Big Unk into defending double legs or single legs. He's not going to go in there and single collar tie and get into the cage and then we're going to strike here and throw elbows. That's not how Pereira fights. It's not his game, it's not his best. So which means he's not going to give Magomed Ankalaev too many things to think about. You know what I'm saying? And because Big Unk can always just clinch him up at will, that's why I think he can, because he can steal rounds, man. He can steal rounds away from from Pereira. And that's why I'm like, if he can't knock Big Ankalaev out, there's no other avenue for him to win the fight.
Yeah, look, I mean, a lot also has been made about Alex Pereira, like not being the same Powhatan that he was when he came into the UFC. He was kind of like the stone-faced killer. And now he's like a lot more, like we can see like a lot more fun side of his personality, and he's doing a lot more media and stuff. And a lot of people are saying that's kind of changing the fighter that he is. And he's not kind of the same guy here. So yeah, interesting times, but yeah, he's got to win this one, bro. Otherwise, he's gonna find himself in a situation where it's doing on the spin. I mean, like you can't He's not gonna sit down in light heavyweight and fight contenders. You know what I mean? At his age.
No. But
So
man,
yeah.
and Drucker said that he thinks Pereira's gonna get the title back. But even so, he gets the title back, then what? Has another title defense, possibly loses that fight, and then like the point is his retirement is near, or at least his
Mm,
retirement from the UFC is near. You know what I mean? I think it's safe to say that because how many fights does he really have at 38 years old? Next year he's 39 years old. Only really wants to fight super fights, right? That's basically what his career has been built on in the UFC. So it's like if he wins here, he has one more defense and he possibly loses that defense. Then what? He goes to heavyweight. If he loses here, immediately goes to heavyweight. Or it's like I've made enough cash. I'm a mega star already. I have the fastest UFC career to a title in the space than anybody. You know what I mean? Maybe Brock Lesnar can make that argument, but I mean, he's done it, and he's done it in two divisions. So it's like, does he have to really prove anything else than this? Maybe taking on Tommy Aspinall, or what else? What other super fights are there for him in the organization? The White House card,
mm.
maybe. So it's like, the point I want to make is the end is near, man, and that's probably why we're seeing a more relaxed Chama than what we saw when he was on his way to basically wiping out the whole organization.
Mm.
Yeah, I got Big Unk for the win here.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. But okay, ladies and gentlemen, once again, you know where the comment section is. Let us know your thoughts. We're gonna move to the bantamweight title bout now. This is Merab Dvalishvili coming up against Cory Sandhagen. The
Oh,
champion is 34 years old, number 3 pound for pound. He's 24-0. He's on a 13-fight streak. 3 wins by KO, 2 by sub. Last time out beat Sean O'Malley in third round sub. Cory Sandhagen, his opponent is 33 years old. He's the number 4 ranked bantamweight, 18-5-0. He's got 8 wins by KO, 3 by sub, 6 first round finishes. Last time out beating Davison Figueiredo by second round TKO there with that 50-50 Ryan
yeah,
Hall Jiu-Jitsu.
I know, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, finally Cory Sandhagen getting his title shot. I
Yeah,
know he's one of your favorite fighters, BG, but
yeah.
it's Merab. So, what are you thinking here, bro? How's Cory's chances looking?
It's the voodoo child, voodoo child. Lord knows I'm the voodoo child. Cody Sandhagen, bro. He's top class, top class. But I think he's gonna get his ass beat here. And I normally don't do that when I've been learning to not go with my biasness, and it's actually quite fun to go with the logical brain because I think Cory Sandhagen is top tier of the bantamweight division. I think outside of Merab, maybe Peter Yan, I think he can beat anybody. I think the fight against Umar Magomedov, I think he fought that fight a little bit too tentative, and that's why we saw a gun shy Cory Sandhagen. But a confident Cory Sandhagen, dude, I can only really think about Merab and Peter Yan that can actually go toe to toe with him and take him out. I don't think of anybody else that can do it. There's no one in the bantamweight division that can, in my opinion, that can go there and take out Cory Sandhagen. That being said, he's super confident and he does believe that he can be the one to beat Merab Dvalishvili. The only thing is, Merab is not Umar Nurmagomedov. They don't really fight the same. They don't. It's not the same techniques, not the same buzz. And I know Cory Sandhagen has said that he has fought people similar to Merab before, and it was a little bit too. I think the word he used was scared, and that's why he was, he didn't do his best work. Stand on the correction, but there was something around that lines of he fought the fight not the way he wanted to fight the fight. He was too defensive minded, and but Umar Magomedov doesn't wrestle and combat sambo you the way Merab does. Merab's Merab's way of beating you is it's like relentlessness, man. And it's like we're gonna go here, then we're gonna go there, then we're gonna go here, then we're gonna go there, then we're gonna go here, and then I'm gonna throw you around. Then I'm gonna strike with you and make you feel comfortable, and I'm gonna take you down again. And it's like the fight. There's no time to rest when you fight in Merab Dvalishvili. You know what I mean? And I will give Cory this. He does have a fantastic grappling game, like a phenomenal grappling game. If you remember the fight against Umar Nurmagomedov, he was able to nullify almost anything that Umar was doing to him on the ground, right? And it made for a little bit of a boring fight because they were stalemating a lot in that fight. But then when they stood up, the moments when they weren't doing anything, Umar was able to steal those moments by landing jabs, by being active enough to get Cory in a false sense of security that he can keep striking here and he has to defend the takedown again. And these are the dangers that he's going to have to watch out for Merab as well. But times a million, because Merab's going to stay on you the whole time. So can Cory catch him? Yes. Because we've seen Merab get hurt. He speaks about it openly. He doesn't hide it. He says there was fights where Marlon Moraes, he got cracked. And he was like, bruh, this man almost knocked me out. When he fought Ricky Simone, he was like, I went for a takedown and I almost got tapped out. You know what I mean? When he fought Sugar Sean O'Malley kicked him in the sternum and he thought he almost lost his win. So there's ways to catch him. You know, he's striking. He's not. One thing, and Cory can also be comfortable in is that Merab can't knock him out. That's a reality. Merab doesn't strike to knock people out. He strikes to keep you active, keep you defending. He strikes to deplete the gas tank. He strikes to keep your guard doing this, so you can't think about your hips. You know what I mean? It's a very master plan, game plan, and Cory has a lot of things to worry about in this fight. But I do think that if there is someone that can give Merab a crazy fight, it will be Cory. Because unlike Sugar Sean O'Malley, Sugar Sean couldn't nullify takedowns. He couldn't stop them. He couldn't prevent it and keep Merab standing. You know what I mean? The same way when Merab fought Umar was able to defend a lot of the takedowns and keep Merab standing, but he was still defending, and that's why he lost the fight. So with Cory, the same thing here. It's like he's got the striking prowess of Sugar Sean O'Malley. Some would say even a little bit better. But on top of that, he's also got the comfortability that Sean doesn't have, which is the wrestling. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be a good puzzle for Merab. I think Merab ultimately will win the fight on decision just by working Cory, just by working him the whole time, just making him work. And if you're going to keep making him defend, he can't mount any offense on you, and therefore he loses the fight. So, yeah, I think Merab wins on decision by playing it a very safe game, lots of grappling, not striking so much, and just making Cory play defense. I think you're on mute, broski.
Sorry, man. The bookies do agree with you there, PG. Merab Dvalishvili is a bigger favorite than Magomed Ankalaev here. At 155. Cory Sandhagen just over 4 times your money, ladies and gentlemen. So, wow.
Yeah.
Some really live dogs on the card here. Let us know your thoughts in that comment section, ladies and gentlemen. PG, I do agree with you. I think Merab's going to be too much for him here. Hence, we're looking at such a very wide line.
Yeah.
But do you have any final thoughts on this one before we move, bro?
No, just super hyped, dude. Like these are top tier fighters. You know, some of my favorite in the organization, and that's because I just like the way they fight. So I'm just super stoked to see some high level MMA on display. I haven't really watched the high level MMA in a long time, so super stoked. I mean, because I just thought about it before we came onto this recording. I was like, yo, it's mad to actually like re-rack my brain around the UFC. Because it's been one for the last 4 weeks. You know what I mean? It's mad. And we had UFC cards, but we also haven't been doing lives to them. And we haven't been watching them live either. So it's mad to like, I'm saying that it's because the cards haven't really been this enticing. As like, look at the top 2 fights on the fight card already. And the fight card itself isn't that bad, bro. This is the first time in a long time that we actually have this many notes for our UFC card. So yeah, super stoked for this one. I think it's gonna be one for the bookies for sure. It's gonna be one that's gonna go down as top fight in bantamweight UFC for sure. And yeah, looking forward to it.
Let's hope so, BG. Let's hope so. But we will keep moving then, and we'll go to some more fireworks here, ladies and gentlemen. It is Jiri Prochazka taking on Khalil Rountree Jr. Have some more title implications in the light heavyweight division. Going to some numbers, we'll see that Jiri Prochazka is 32 years old, number 2 ranked light heavyweight. The record is 31-5-1, 27 wins by KO, 3 wins by sub, 23 first round finishes, beating Jamal Hill by 3rd round KO in his last fight. Khalil Rountree Jr., 35 years old, number 4 ranked light heavyweight, is 15-6-0, 10 wins by KO, 7 first round finishes. Also beat Jamal Hill, but he beat him by unanimous decision. So this one is going to be absolute fireworks here, BG. The bookie is not liking this one to go the distance. What are your thoughts here, bro?
Yeah, this is, if you're a casual MMA fan or casual combat sports fan, like this is one you really want to tune into. It's gonna be someone's going to sleep. I would be very surprised if this fight actually goes to the distance. Like there were implications on the line here. Obviously, the winner can make a call out for the winner between Big Unk and Pereira. Obviously, both guys lost to Pereira. They both beat Jamal Hill in very good fashion. Um, I'm starting to see a winner here, 80, and the reason being is because stylistically, both guys can catch each other, and the style of fights, the way that they are built, and the way that they fight is the kind of thing that can beat one another. You know what I mean? For example, what does Jiri Prochazka do really well, right? It's a get in your face. He forces the fight. He's not gonna fight on the outside like a Rakic or I'm gonna be here and push you up from the outside and play a safe game. Almost the way Khalil Rountree fought against Jamal Hill. It's like I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna counter you a lot, right? It's not how he fights. Jiri's the kind of fighter that he's always going to push the fight where he thinks it needs to go. And by doing that, it means he's always on the offense. And it makes the opponent have to think that you have to be on this, like you have to be on your feet the whole time against Jiri Prochazka because of what he does. He's got a lot of pressure, and then his hands are always low. So you'll feint and like bring out a lot of counters, and he basically wants to stay in the pocket with you. Never really shoots for anything. That just stays in the pocket the whole time. And that's the kind of fight that can overwhelm Khalil Rountree because of the fact that Khalil's more of a I'm gonna hit you with a 2-piece. I'll hit you with a 1-piece. Sometimes I'll extend the combination to a 3-piece, depending on where the circumstance is. Like if I'm countering or if I'm going forward, to extend the combination to back you up. It's like Khalil fights, right? He also has some decent counters on him, but when the striker comes to him like a Prochazka, I'm keen to see what is he gonna do then, because now he doesn't have time to sit there and go, okay, bang 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 jab left to a body kick. He doesn't have time to do that like a typical Muay Thai rhythm. You know what I mean? Because Prochazka's not gonna allow him to do that. That being said, Prochazka is always there to be counted. And if there's anyone that has sharp counters, it's Khalil Rountree. You know what I mean? He may not be the biggest light heavyweight, but the dude is sharp with his striking. I've watched him from Ultimate Fighter all the way till now. And this man has grown leaps and bounds. Not only is he, he's always had knockout power, but his shot selection, his patience for shot selection, meaning that now he can be a lot more precise when he does choose to let something go. So if Prochazka comes in at him, and then Prochazka has a habit of doing what? He'll go forward and he will throw like a feint 1-2. He won't fully commit the 1-2, but he'll throw it. But that's only because what he's going to do is he's going to put his head into that position with the 1-2 to only stop the movement. And then what does he do? He goes back to bring you forward, suck out your counter, and then he unleashes full-fledged combinations. Bang, 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 bang. So that's what makes this fight so intriguing, is because both gentlemen has got the exact weaponry to annihilate the other one. It all depends on who can execute that perfectly on the night. As a fan, I want to go Khalil Rountree because I followed him for longer than Jiri Prochazka. But Jiri Prochazka won me over a long time ago as a fighter I'm very impressed for. I think his buzz, I think his style, I think his humor, I think he's a fantastic guy to follow. So I'm kind of torn in the middle here. But if I must go logically, I'm going to go Jiri Prochazka. I think he's got fantastic weaponry, and I think the awkwardness of his movement and like his footwork and like the way his timing, more importantly, might just be tricky for Khalil to find his timing and to settle to find that distance. Because Prochazka don't give you chance to do that. You know what I mean? Pereira was the only one that stopped him. Stopped that. No one else could stop it. So I'm gonna go with Prochazka just because I think he's the more awkward, but also a super dangerous fighter because of that awkwardness, if you will. But Khalil Rountree, I'm gonna deep down, low key, I'm gonna support him. I'm gonna be like, no, it's the window.
Let's go for that. As far as the numbers go here on the lines, BG, Prochazka starting as the 1.57 favorite. Khalil Rountree is 2.45 dog. And honestly, bro, I'm gonna go with Khalil in this one. I've seen that Prochazka's been doing some drills, movement drills, head movement drills.
Yeah.
But I don't like that style, bro. I don't like hands low in a fight. And I think that Khalil's got enough to catch him. And Khalil's defense is much more defensively sound. And I think because of that, because they strike, like you said, they both have the tools to annihilate each other, bro. And I think that Khalil's defense is going to be the difference in this one. And I look for him to get it done. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments there, ladies and gentlemen. PG?
No, I'm just thinking I like what you said, and Khalil's the underdog here, and I'm going to say this now to all the betting men out there and women out there. The underdogs in this fight card in the top 3 fights are very, very good underdogs to pick. Like if you really wanted to gamble and like make a calculation on that gamble and go, I'm willing to put money on an underdog. Khalil Rountree, Alex Pereira, and Cory Sandhagen. Like these are very good underdogs to bet on. You know what I mean? It's not really like a big risk if you think about it. So yeah, I wouldn't be upset at making that kind of bet, but I'm always a safe money guy. And I didn't even look at the betting odds for this fight card, and look at my pick so far has been with the favorites.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. But we will keep moving to the featherweight division now, where we have Josh Emmett taking on BG's favorite fighter, Yusuf Zalal. Josh Emmett is 40 years old now. The number
Yeah.
8 ranked featherweight is 19-5-0. He's got 7 by KO, 2 by sub, 7 first round finishes. He did lose to Lerone Murphy by unanimous decision in his last fight. Yusuf Zalal, 29 years old, number 9 ranked featherweight, 17-5-1. 4 wins by KO, 9 by sub, 6 first round finishes on a 4-fight streak, beating Calvin Kattar by unanimous decision in his last fight. So yeah, BG, I guess like the narrative going into this fight, from what I've seen from some of the pundits as well as on X, is that this is going to be pretty easy money for Yusuf Zalal. Josh Emmett is basically too one-dimensional, and Yusuf Zalal's fight style is perfectly tailored to beat a
Yes.
guy like Josh Emmett. Is that a fair statement? And what are your thoughts on this one, bro?
Yeah, I think it's a fair statement. Before you even said that, that was my analysis of the matchup. To be honest with you, is that exact thing? It's the Talal's the kind of fight. It's a nightmare for Josh, right? Because Josh does not like fighting against footwork heavy fighters. I mean, just look at the Lerone Murphy performance. For example, Josh was basically chasing shadows the entire game, the entire fight. Give it Arsenal playing later. Um, that's basically what we saw, and that's a nightmare matchup for someone that's very much power punch heavy. You know, Josh Emmett is not a triple jab right straight, or double jab right straight, or push kick jab right straight. He's not that kind of athlete. He's more of like a pressure. And once I see that you can't move anywhere, I'm planting my feet down here and I'm gonna swing for the fences. And if you're not prepared to go in the gunfight with me, I'm KOing your ass. That is good in 2002. You know what I mean? That's 2025 now, and the game has evolved so much that fighters are prioritizing fantastic defense over a lot of offense. Because if you can stay moving and pepper on your opponent, eventually, like they're already down on the scorecards. They're gonna get desperate. They're gonna walk into some heavy counter. You know what I'm saying? And Zalal, as much as I always make fun of the guy, you know, UFC's Kevin Hart, he's a good fighter. I don't think he's going to be a champion. I don't think that the fight style he has is going to be a problem for the guys that's top tier in the featherweight division. If you think about, like, you know, the what's his name, the Larones, what's his name, Diego Lopez, John Silva, Volkanovskis. I don't know if he can put them in trouble. I really don't think he can. I think they all fuck him up pretty easily. That being said, I do think Yusuf Zalal is the kind of guy that he will be like a what's that other dude that's in the division that hasn't fought in a while, the British guy, Arnold Allen. You're always going to be just outside of the top. Like top 4, top. You'll be top 5 at some point in your career, but you won't go further than that. You will always be the Marlon Chito Veras of the featherweight division. You know what I mean? That's how I see him. Fun fights, fun guy, fascinating to watch, but there are some other dudes out there that's in the division that will sleep him. Now Josh Emmett, it takes one punch to KO you. You know what I mean? But can he catch this dude? Because Yusuf Zalal is the dude is slippery. He's got good footwork. Not even Ilia Topuria was able to catch him. You know, and Ilia Topuria went toe to toe with Josh Emmett. You know, so fought him at his fight and beat him. Topuria couldn't really land anything significant on Zalal. Still won the fight, but how I'm saying this is because Zalal, in every fight, you see what you get. He's gonna just put you with a lot of volume and a lot of footwork, and I think that's just gonna be a nightmare for Josh. Josh is gonna stand there, and Zalal's gonna catch him with a 1, 2, 3, and then Josh is gonna, at that point, he's gonna attack his head down and swing one like hard, like a left or a right. But you'll realize that Zalal's already on the other side of the octagon, or he's already moved around him. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be that kind of performance. But if Josh catches him, I don't think Zalal gets up from it. I don't think if they get into a pocket and Josh lands in that exchange, I don't think Yusuf gets up. I think he lays there and looking at the lights at the end of the night. But yeah, I think the analogy that came out of the pundits and so far, I think it's a very accurate reading in my opinion. It's a fight style that Josh Emmett struggles with every day of the week.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. You can see that Salal is in fact the bigger favorite than um, Merab Dvalishvili by 0.1. So just another indicator there that Salal is probably looking like the safe money, ladies and gentlemen. We got some middleweights to get to. We're gonna open the main card for us, BG. It is Abus Magomedov coming up against Joe Pyfer. Abus Magomedov is 34-0. Sorry, 34, shit, 34 years old. Oh, it's been a long day.
Yeah.
28 6-1, 14 wins by KO, 7 by sub, 15 first round finishes, 3-fight win streak last time out, beating Merab Pereira by unanimous decision. Joe Bodybag Piper, 28 years old, 14-3-0, 9 wins by KO, 3 wins by sub, 7 first round finishes, 2-fight win streak, beating the bold of Calvin Gastelum in his last fight. And that coming by unanimous decision. Absolutely there. BG, over to you on this one, bro.
I'm to be honest, I'm not like super stoked for the fight. Not because it's not a great fight, but I just think like these two characters in particular, they don't really like. I don't really want to support them. They don't really do much for me to go. I want to follow this dude's career. You know what I mean? Amus Magomedov was there at one point, but then he basically took a beating to Sean Strickland and never really recovered. Now he's back on a win streak. He's getting someone that's arguably in the same position in their career right now, especially in the division that they are in body bags. And before the Calvin Gastelum fight, I was like, I might just want to get involved in body bags' career, especially because he's come out to the Sean Brady camp. Good fighters, devastating KO artist is Joe Pyfer. But the fight against Calvin Gastelum kind of retracted that for me and made me go, okay, I'm gonna take back everything I said and hold on to it to see if he can prove me wrong. Because for me, Calvin Gastelum was there for the taking for him, and instead of actually taking Calvin out, he was so knockout heavy, like he was chasing the KO one punch at a time. That's not gonna get you to the title, man. It won't. If you look at the top guys of the middleweight division, they are such well-rounded athletes. They can do everything, and they don't do one-punch situations. Even though they have it in their locker, they don't rely on that. You know what I mean? And I think Body Bags relies on this demeanor of racking up bodies, just taking you out, bro. That's what he does. And I think Abus Magomedov has got a very good skill set to actually beat up Joe Pyfer. The one thing I wanted Calvin Gastelum to do in that fight was, you can see Joe Pyfer is not going to throw a three-piece at you and put some volume on you, get you backed up, put some volume on you. Joe Pyfer wants to pressure you and throw one punch and get you, and basically end the fight right there. That gives the other fighter opportunities to do a lot of stuff. Because now Joe Pyfer's not going to come with me at high volume. He wants to look for one shot. So it gives me opportunities to find those spaces to, if I'm going to stay active, then he can't land one shot because now he's forced to go backwards. He's forced to defend all my stuff. And Abus Magomedov is that kind of fighter. Lots of deep kicks, lots of high kicks. He's very kickboxing heavy and he throws a lot of combinations. However, he only has one round in him. He gets super tired after that because there's a lot of volume and lots of heat in that volume. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying this to you is that this fight could either go, one guy's getting KO'd, either Joe Pyfer KOs Abus Magomedov in round 2 or round 3, or Abus KOs Joe Pyfer in round 1, or they get tired and the fight just becomes a ball fest all the way to the third round. Because that's the kind of fights I've watched these two guys in before, multiple times. So that's why I'm not as excited for it. But if I must give a pick, I want to go with Abus Magomedov because I think he's a more well-rounded athlete. But I can't bet on fighters that count time after time after time. That shows me that they can't go into round 2 and round 3. That bothers me a lot about Abus Magomedov. So I'm gonna go with body bags, but ever so just slightly. Pinch of salt.
Body Bags is starting as the 1.40 favorite with Magomedov as 3 times your money. So another favorite pick there by BG.
Yo, just favorites.
Just favorites, but I think we must do one nice long parlay for this one,
Yeah,
and get some of the merch popped up for the people. Anyway,
let's go.
BG, you want to talk some prelims for us, bro? I'm gonna get out your way. Let you run through the prelims for us.
Absolutely. So we do have some notes, but before I get into the notes of the prelims, let's just bring the prelims up on screen and talk about it from top to bottom. Because that first fight, I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but I do expect that first fight to end in a KO because Esteban Gutierrez is on a tear at the moment. KO in everybody, just looking extremely dangerous in the middleweight division. Becoming a very good prospect to watch out for. I suspect he's going to do the same thing in this fight. I don't know anything about Tristan Vines, but it just seems like what UFC is doing here is if we can get Gutierrez to go on another, I think he's on a 4-fight win streak at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. But if we can get Gutierrez to go on another, like on a proper win streak, then they can kind of fast track him into a high level fight. You know what I mean? He could even get the winner of Body Bags and Magomed. But yeah, I expect to finish here. So if you want to watch a nice highlight reel KO, tune in to watch Gutierrez get the job done. Now we can keep moving to the one fight we have. The two fights we have on this prelims that we're going to talk about. Edmund Shabazian is back, 27-year-old. I think he did a good job on his last fight. So I'm going to give you some numbers about him. He's taken on Andre Muniz. Edmund Shabazian, 27 years old. His record in the UFC is 15 wins, 5 losses, 12 0 no contest. 12 wins by KO, 1 win by sub, and 12 first round finishes. Fantastic striker, two fight winning streak. Sometimes I've seen fights where killer instinct is not there, and then he gets caught. You know, when he lost to Gerald Mearshot, I was like, how the hell do you lose to Mearshot? And Mearshot is not bad, but I mean, it's not like you're fighting against a 25-year-old Mearshot. You know what I mean? So there were some times where the highlight or the conversation for Edmund Shabazian was like, this kid is going to be fantastic, phenomenal. But then he goes and loses to fights he's not supposed to be losing. And you're like, well, then maybe it reserves people's opinions about him. But he's gone on a bit of a win streak. He beat Andre Petrosky in his last fight by unanimous decision. Fantastic. And the one before that, he also beat who it was, but it was a nice start to step 1-2, left straight knockout. So yeah, he's a good striker. He's taken on Andre Muniz, who's primarily going to strike with him. Andre Muniz doesn't like to grapple at all. He's 35 years old. His record is 24 wins, 7 losses, 0 no contest. 4 wins by KO, 15 wins by sub, 15 first round finishes. He lost to Alex Pereira by first round KO in his last fight. And that's what you get. That's what you get from Muniz. He's the kind of guy that just wants to box, uses length, gets in there and strikes. Doesn't really do a lot of grappling. And I think Edmund Shabazian's the more polished striker here. And I think if Edmund can stay on the outside, use his speed, use his volume, use his feints that he does really well, he can definitely pull out one of those overextensions from Muniz because he does that a lot. He loves to overextend, and he bites on a lot of feints as well. So I got Edmund Shabazian for the win in this fight. Oh my word, another favorite. There you go. You see, he's just a more well-rounded fighter, and Muniz is on his way out, in my opinion. So yeah, I think we can keep it moving. 80 to the next fight. We have Chris Gutierrez taking on Farhad Basharat. Another good fight. This is going to be another fantastic stand-up war. Chris Gutierrez, kind of like, it was a time where he was like really climbing up the rankings of the bantamweight division, becoming like one of those dudes where you don't really mess with, right? Because he's got some crafty KOs, some good elbows in him, just very good striker, and also not a bad wrestler at the same time. But for some reason, I don't know what it was, we didn't see enough of him. Like, he wasn't as active as I would like to have seen him. You know what I mean? Which is probably why we didn't see him climb the rankings as fast as we would love to have seen. But he's here now. He's 34 years old. He's got a record of 22 wins, 5 losses, 2 no contest. 9 wins by KO, 1 win by sub, first and 4 first round finishes. He beat John Castaneda by split decision in his last fight. And then Farhad Basharat on a steep, bro. He's 28 years old. His record is 13 wins, 0 losses, 0 no contest. 1 win by KO, 6 wins by sub, 5 and 0 in the UFC. He beat Victor Hugo by unanimous decision in his last fight. And Basharat is good. Fantastic fighter. I think he's gonna. I want to say he's gonna win, but this is a big but. Gutierrez is super dangerous, man. He's a tough cookie to put away, you know. And he can grapple. He can move fights in different positions, and also in-fight adjustment, excuse me, is top tier in the sense that when he's in trouble, he's not going to just swing to survive. He's smart enough to know to clinch out of there, get you to the ground, recover and fight back. Whereas Farhat Basharat is just a very well-rounded striker, polished, young, vibrant. That's what you get from him. Doesn't really grapple that much, but he can. I think Gutierrez is, in my opinion, he's got that killer instinct, man. He's got that kill shot as well. So I think what we're gonna see here is a Basharat, fancy footwork, dance heavy, punches you, lots of volume. Doesn't really sit down on his punches as much. Whereas Gutierrez is a little bit of the less volume, but more precise. Loves the calf kick. And I think that's gonna be a puzzle for Rat Basharat. So I'm gonna go Chris Gutierrez for the win in this fight here. Because I just think he's why are you saying sheesh? Oh, going with the underdog. Oh, let's go.
That's the biggest dog on the card, bro.
That might be some if you believe in magic, what's the word I'm looking for, AD? If you are
superstitious,
that might be it, because the whole card I've been going with favorites, not even looking at the betting odds, and then the one dog that I picked is the biggest underdog on the card. So might be something in that, guys. There might be something in that. Also on the prelims, I see there's a fight where we have Brazil's own Daniel Santos, not a bad striker, taking on Ju Sang Yu. That should be a fun fight. Not too much I can give you other than the fact that both guys come to fight. They go getters. Both guys want to put some KOs on the line. I think Ju Sang Yu, if I'm not mistaken, is undefeated. So yeah, this is going to be a fun fight. That's going to be, I might even start the live early because of this prelims. The prelims doesn't look too bad. So we'll see how that looks. But then also the last fight that I will give some detailed notes about is bantamweight top 10 implications. Macy Cherson taking on Yana Santos. Macy Cherson is ranked number 5 in the women's bantamweight division. Record is 11 wins, 4 losses, 0 no contest, 4 wins by KO, 3 wins by sub, 3 first round finishes. Lost to Ketlin Vieira by unanimous decision in the last fight. I'll come back to that. Yana Santos, ranked number 10 in the bantamweight division. Her record is 16 wins, 8 losses, 0 no contest, 7 wins by KO. She also has 1 win by sub and 7 first round finishes. 2-fight winning streak. She beat the legendary Misha Tate by unanimous decision. Now, Macy Cherson, she's very close to being at the top tier of the division. But she did fight against the high level fighters that's ranked higher than number 5. She lost to them. I think she's just outside of that bracket of being elite in the division. I think a win over Yana Santos can put her back into that argument of, I want to be in the round robin for number 1 contender, or I want to fight for a title very soon. So she needs to win here. And I think Yana Santos is a tricky character for her. Yana Santos is very much front foot heavy. Lots of volume, lots of points, take you down, ground and pound, put you up on the cage, clinch elbows. Now, that being said, Yana Santos has always relatively been the bigger fighter when she fought, right? Macy Cherson is probably the tallest fighter in the division. So this is going to be the first time in UFC that Yana Santos is going to fight against somebody that matches her, if not bigger than her. So and Macy's a fantastic striker. She's not a bad grappler either. But whenever I have seen Macy Cherson lose is when someone overwhelms her with a lot of chain wrestling and a lot of grappling and a lot of clinch control, and because that's not where Macy wants to fight. She wants to be on the outside. She wants to catch you with elbows. She wants to be crafty. She looks for KOs. But if you're clinching her and you're grappling her all the time, you eliminate all her threats. So I think, and that's why I'm going to go with Yana Santos, just because that's how she fights. You know what I mean? So she has the exact methods to go in there and wipe out someone like Macy Cherson. But that's going to be a fun fight. I'm highlighting the fight because it's top 10 bantamweight. You know what I mean? So another underdog. Here we go. Another underdog, Yana Santos. But I do want Macy to win because of where she's at in her career and where she's ranked. You know what I mean? She stayed for me long enough in the top 5 to make a run for a title shot. So yeah, I'm banking. I'm hoping for her to win, but I just think Yana Santos is going to be a problem for her style. It's a problem style for her. And all the losses I have watched Macy lose, it's because of that style that Yano Santos has.
Give thanks, brother Gaia. And if you have any thoughts about the prelims, any fights we should keep an eye out for that we didn't mention on our build up, ladies and gentlemen, let us know. We've got some great
I have.
interaction from some. Oh, you got another one.
Yeah, just not going to go into depth. Just highlighting that Patchy Mix is on the fight card. He's fighting against Jakob Wikolas. I want to say that, but seems like a layup for Patchy Mix. We have also Punahela Serrano. He's a very good striker. He's got the Hawaii crowd on his side all the time. He's taking on some Kazakhstan fighter. That should be a fun fight as well. And then obviously Veronica Hardy. You know the surname. You know the surname very well. Veronica Hardy taking on Brogan Walker. If you don't know who Brogan Walker is,
this fight, to be honest with you.
She did win the Ultimate Fighter. I don't remember which season it was. So yeah, but that's all I have to say about it. I'm not saying tune in. Yeah, just that some names that I expect to get some wins on the fight card.
Give thanks, brother Gaia. Give thanks. We might do some live betting on the live stream. Join in. Be sure to catch us on Sunday morning at 3 a.m., 2 a.m. South African time?
Yeah, we might do like a 3 a.m. Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Let us know, BG, and also let us know your final thoughts as well as a pre-fight rating for the card, please.
Final thoughts. Super stoked. Hyped for pay-per-view event. I think the main card is really wonderful to watch. I think the prelims is also not too bad. So I'm gonna give it for the first time in a long time. I'm gonna give the UFC 7.5. They've got fighters that I love to watch, fighters I'm a big fan of, and that might even go higher come the end of the weekend.
Give thanks, brother Gaia. It's a tough one because there are 2 title fights on the card, so that should immediately mean it's a great card almost. But I just don't feel like the main card is deep enough for me. So I'm actually just going to give it a 7. But it's a good card, especially for the UFC standards. So yeah, definitely hyped for this one. But if you have made it this far, ladies and gentlemen, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things. Got more content coming, Beach, and tell you what you can expect so you can watch the podcast every day. Joe Rogan.
What's up? So what we have left for the rest of the week, guys, is a nice preview of One Friday Fights 127, which will come out on Thursday. And then also a reaction to the One Fight Night 36 weight and hydration, because obviously that's where things might change for that fight card. And then also what you can expect on Friday is a nice live watch along of One Friday Fights 127. Lots of debutants on that fight card, but still going to be nice and fascinating. And then also Saturday morning at 3 a.m. South African time, please tune in on YouTube. We are going to be doing a live watch along of One Fight Night 36. And then Sunday morning, possibly at around 3 a.m., we will be doing a live watch along of UFC 320. Hoping to see all of you there. So from myself, the Fighting with Friends team, have a very, very good evening, and we'll catch you on the next one. Adios, amigo.
Nobody knows about the sport. I have a to race, I have tax to pay, and I have a live to live. The people want to say because I know the people pay.